these obsessive desires and thoughts wanting to control them, possess them.
This is Jeffrey Dahmer. He seemed just like any other man from Milwaukee. Familiar streets, everyday routines, common neighbors. But what many didn't know was the monster hiding behind his eyes. Every glance, every interaction, every seemingly normal moment, while he walked among the unsuspecting, his truth remained concealed, waiting for the world to peel back the layers. Who really was Jeffrey Dahmer? Let's dive deep and discover the man behind the monster.
There were times, but a compulsive obsession with doing what I was doing overpowered any feelings of revulsion.
In 1960, Milwaukee, Wisconsin welcomed a new baby boy, Jeffrey Dahmer. He was born to Lionel, an ambitious student with a passion for chemistry, and Joyce, a dedicated teletype machine instructor. From the outside, they looked like a normal family. The house was filled with the stories of their ancestors, the mix of German, Welsh, English, Norwegian, and Irish tales. But behind those doors, things weren't so simple. As time passed by, Jeffrey's parents argued a lot, and it seemed like their family was splitting at the seams. And young Jeffrey, he was caught right in the middle of it. But nobody could have foreseen what was to come. As Jeffrey started school, people noticed something different about him. That bubbly kid seemed quieter, and there was a reason for it. A visit to the hospital for a surgery changed something in him. That, combined with his father's long hours away and his mother's growing sadness, made school tough for Jeffrey. He started feeling like he was on the outside looking in. By 1966, the Dahmer family decided to pack up and leave, setting their sights on Doylestown, Ohio. A fresh start, maybe. But for Jeffrey, new beginnings came with their own challenges. It was here that he became a big brother, taking pride in naming his younger sibling David. Meanwhile, his father Lionel achieved a significant milestone, earning a degree and beginning his career in Akron, Ohio. But amidst these changes, Jeffrey's peculiar interests began to emerge. He seemed oddly fascinated by the bones his father once removed from beneath their home. These weren't the usual toys or interests of young boys. He started collecting them, referring to them playfully as his fiddlesticks. 1968 brought another move, this time to Bath Township, Ohio. With a more extensive property surrounded by the woods, Jeffrey had the space to explore and nurture his growing curiosities. He found a secluded spot, a little hut where he stored his increasing collection. From large insects to small animal skeletons, his collection was, to say the least, unique. Then came the day of the chicken dinner. A seemingly mundane family meal led to a revelation for Jeffrey. He questioned his father about preserving techniques. Lionel, seeing it as a scientific curiosity, showed him how to bleach and protect animal bones. This knowledge would fuel Jeffrey's passion even further. But some secrets he kept hidden, and those are the ones that might make you scared to turn off the light. Jeffrey's high school journey began at Revere. Here, he was the kid that stood out, but not always for the right reasons. By 14, alcohol became his companion, often concealed and consumed even during school hours. Though mostly reserved, Jeffrey had his moments. He played tennis, showcasing his athletic side. He even tried his hand at music, joining the school band for a brief period. During this time, he often discovered something personal about himself. He realized he was gay. This was another thing he felt he had to hide. He did have a brief relationship with a boy, but they kept it a secret. Despite these challenges, Jeffrey's playful side occasionally emerged. He was known for his pranks, some light-hearted and others bordering on bizarre. However, as the years progressed, his academics began to falter. His parents, seeing his struggle, brought in a tutor, but success remained difficult to achieve. Meanwhile, the Dahmer household became a battleground. Arguments escalated, ending in the painful decision for his parents to part ways. As they moved on, Jeffrey was left to navigate the tumultuous waters of young adulthood, grappling with his past and an uncertain future. In 1978, Jeffrey graduated from high school. It should have been a happy time, but for him, it was bittersweet. There was an incident where a teacher caught him drinking in the school parking lot. Instead of getting mad, Jeffrey just said he had a lot of problems at home, and soon after, his home changed. His mum took his younger brother and left, while his dad moved to a motel. This left Jeffrey all alone in the family house. The world seemed to have moved on, leaving Jeffrey at a crossroads. Tick-tock, tick-tock went the clock as he sat at home in solitude thinking. And as the saying goes, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. After his high school years, a heavy cloud of change and tension hung over Dahmer's life. Only 3 weeks had passed since his graduation, and summer's warmth seemed promising. But on June 18th, things took a turn for the worst. His first murder. Dahmer encountered a young man, Stephen Mark Hicks, about his age, walking along the road. Hicks, who had a free spirit and was headed to a rock concert at Chippewa Lake Park, caught Dahmer's attention. There was something about Hicks, maybe his youthful energy or perhaps the way the sunlight reflected off his shirtless chest, that awakened a mix of emotions in Dahmer. In an attempt to connect and perhaps divert his unsettling feelings, Dahmer invited Hicks over to his house. Just a few beers, he suggested, making it sound casual. The fact that his parents weren't home seemed to make it an ideal setting, and Hicks, always up for a good time and a cold drink, saw no harm and agreed. As the two young men spent time together drinking and diving into deep conversations with music in the background, the environment shifted. While Hicks chatted about concerts, friends, and even girls he liked, Dahmer's mind spiraled. Every word Hicks said, every smile, only intensified Dahmer's internal battle. Hicks soon felt the time had come to head out, maybe catch the rest of the concert or move on to the next adventure. But Dahmer, feeling a storm of emotions, loneliness, anger, desperation, didn't want him to leave. And in that intense moment, Dahmer made a choice that would forever change the course of both of their lives. He reached for a nearby 10-pound dumbbell, not to exercise, but to ensure Hicks wouldn't leave. With two swift motions, Hicks was no longer the animated young man he had been just moments ago. Overwhelmed, Dahmer tried to process what he had done. The weight of his actions was immediate and all-consuming. Alone in his house with only the aftermath of his actions for company, he did the unimaginable. He took Hicks down to the basement. The day that followed was filled with an eerie quietness. Dahmer's mind raced as he decided what to do next. In a twisted effort to erase his actions, he dissected what was left of his victim's body, trying to distance himself from the reality of the situation. The quiet woods behind his home became a burial ground, but the guilt, the panic, it wouldn't subside. Weeks later, feeling the need to further erase his deed, he dug up the remains, making a gruesome attempt to dissolve them in acid, scattering what was left. What had started as a casual invite had taken a dark, irreversible turn. A necklace and a knife, two chilling remnants of that day, were discarded in the Cuyahoga River, as if trying to wash away the evidence of Dahmer's first descent into darkness. The dark path Jeffrey embarked on didn't stop with that one chilling summer evening. Over 13 years, between 1978 and 1991, he took the lives of 17 more young men, leaving a trail of horror that would shock anyone. But it wasn't just killing. He kept pieces of his victims' bodies. A finger here, an eyeball there, and sometimes he would even eat some parts too. Although doctors said he had multiple disorders, the court ruled him as sane. They locked him up for life 15 times over. But here's the twist. While in the gloomy walls of Columbia Correctional, another prisoner, Christopher Scarver, ensured Dahmer would never hurt anyone again. By 1994, the monster's reign was over. Got your heart racing, didn't we? Hit that subscribe button and join us on this thrilling journey. And hey, drop a comment below if there's a topic that's been keeping you up at night. We might just turn the spotlight on it next.